Remember that big pothole we had here? We're gonna take care of that problem. Hi, and welcome back to Purple Collar Life. Today I'm in the club car because I want to show you something we had done today. When opportunity knocks, you answer. Jennifer wanted me to open up this video by saying, welcome back to Hodgepodge Lodge, because now we have 3 surface types in our driveway. But I'm going to explain to you why we made this change today to do some chip seal, or some people call it tar and chip, in a section of the driveway. This is the section of the driveway you guys most recently saw. I put the limestone down in, and I put the limestone on top of that number 3 river rock. You can see what's starting to happen here is the limestone is locking in really well, but some of it is falling down through the river rock, so the river rock is becoming exposed again. We will eventually need to get some more limestone or cover this up another way. Back here, you can see the remnants of today's project. So we'll show you, this is that small limestone gravel they use for the tar and chip. This is not the area of the driveway we had tar and chip. I'm going to show you that in a minute. But first, we'll hop on the club car here. Let me flip the seat up for you. You can ride along and we'll talk about what we did. So yesterday morning, I was loading up the Expedition with everything that Mackenzie was taking to college. Yesterday was move-in day, and Jennifer and I took Mackenzie to college, got our room all set up with her. But in the morning, while I was packing up the Expedition, a red truck came in the driveway. The guy said, hey, we're doing some tar and chip roads in the area, some township roads, and we're gonna have some material left. Would you be interested in tar and chip on part of your driveway? He said he just happened to see me out and thought that maybe tar and chip would be an answer to this problem. So right here against the garage where we have all this grass growing up, he said, hey, what we have left would easily do in front of your garage here, would seal that all off. You wouldn't have all this grass coming up through. I thought about it, and I've actually thought about tar and chip in the driveway before because there's a lot of reasons I like tar and chip. But my problem with along the garage here is this is a downhill slope, and I'm worried that before we make any type of solid surface here, whether that would be blacktop, cement, or tar and chip, I think we're going to need some drains or some way to keep the water from pouring right into the garage when it runs down this section of the driveway. Now he said he was confident he could slope that to the left where we do have a drain the whole length here along the sidewalk, and he could slope it to the right over by where we've got the truck parked right now. But I wasn't real confident in that. The price was really good for some tar and chip, and I said, you know what? Let me take you to the end of the driveway. Several videos ago, I brought you out here to the end of the driveway and I showed you a problem I was having with a pothole up against the main road. And the problem is that when the mail carrier comes up, he or she is accelerating at a certain point and it's digging a big rut right at the edge of the road. Then every time we're in and out of the driveway, we're hitting that rut with the vehicle and the trailer. Now, a lot of you had some really good suggestions on how to fix that pothole. A lot of them had to do with some way to fill that in to make it a more solid surface. So when this fellow came in the driveway and said he was going to have about $750 worth of tar and chip left, I figured that was opportunity knocking. Because some of the suggestions you guys had were asphalt or cement or some way to solidify that. Tar and chip is a good option to do that. So here we are at the end of the driveway. No more pothole. It's nice and solid here. It's tar and chip, or what people call chip seal. So $750 with the chip seal would have taken us to right about here, right at the start of the first turn in the driveway, right by this nice oak tree. And I said, well, yeah, let's do that because the end of the driveway was a concern. This will be much easier to maintain at the end of the driveway. And I said, Best case scenario, if you have a little bit more than the $750 worth, how far do you think you could go? So the people that did this for me, the company name is Reynolds & Reynolds, and I'll put their contact information down below in the description. This is just day one. We're going to see how this holds up over time, but they said this should last 10 to 12, maybe 15 years, depending on, how much traffic there is in and out and how things hold up. The key is to have a good base, and we had a really solid base underneath this. I'll walk you through the process of what it takes to put the chip seal down, but I wanted to show you the results first. So we'll work our way in the driveway here. You can see we ended up with more than $750 worth of material available to us, which was great. I wanted to get, as much as we could at a really good price. Remember, this was leftover stuff that they just needed to get out of the truck. We actually made it about 300 feet in the driveway. So all the way up to where we changed material. You'll remember in a previous video, I did a video about limestone versus gravel. Just about right at this line where we switched to the limestone is where the tar and chip ran out. So that's perfect. We have now replaced all that river rock, the number 3, with the chip seal, and then we've got this limestone in this section of the driveway. Let's turn around here, we'll go back. You can see how really nice that looks. So let's walk through a little bit of the process of what it takes to get this done. Like I said, this is about 300 feet. I am using the golf cart because I don't want to tear it up with the four-wheeler or the side-by-side. It was just put down several hours ago. They did a great job rolling it, but I don't want a chance tearing it up in day one. I want it to get packed in pretty tight before we drive something with a locked rear differential over it. So the process starts by removing all the loose product from the top. And there's what we had, loose product from the top of this 300 feet of driveway. That is a lot of that number 3 river rock that we had put on this section of the driveway. When they scraped the loose stuff off the top, the base was super solid, but they've got to get this top loose stuff off first. So that is somewhere between probably 10 and 15, maybe at the most 20 tons. It'll be a triaxle load of number 3 gravel. We have lots of projects for that. I'll show you those in future videos. So I just had them push it off to the side here where I have access at it with the John Deere tractor. They did keep the entrance and the turn here nice and wide because I reminded them we have a big truck, we have a 5th wheel trailer and several other trailers we tow through. So this section of the driveway is much wider than the straight section of the driveway. The straight section of the driveway ended up at 9 feet wide. But the nice thing is the way they put this down, they can make it any width. I've seen some machines that have certain widths they have to maintain to put the tar and chip or the chip seal down. Their system, they can do any width at all. So you can see once we're to the straight stretch here, this is about 9 feet wide, maybe a little over in some spots. So once they had graded off the loose section of gravel, the next thing they did was take a roller and compact all that base down. And it was already fairly smooth from the really nice skid loader they had. They had a New Holland 4-wheel skid loader, so no tracks that were digging as they shuffled side to side. Really did a good job of cleaning all the loose stuff off without destroying the base. But they had that base and then they rolled it all with the roller. It got really compact. Then they did really the cool part. They had the truck with the big tank of the tar. You know, I've always called this process tar and chip. Some people call it chip seal. I've always called it tar and chip. They put a layer of tar down side to side as wide as they want to. That was one of the advantages of using the Reynolds & Reynolds guys, is they can go as wide as you need them to. So they'd put that tar down side to side, and then once they had tar down the whole length that they were going to be doing, that same skid steer had buckets full, yards full of the limestone, the really small limestone that goes on top, and then that's what they pack in. They use the roller again. To roll this all down, makes it nice and tight. And a couple reasons I like chip seal or tar and chip is because it holds up better than gravel. So chip seal or tar and chip has some self-healing properties. Unlike asphalt or blacktop, if there's a crack in it, you've got to seal it. Chip seal, because of the way it is applied, can kind of heal itself. The sun warms it up, the tar loosens up on the bottom, the chips kind of fold in over top, and it heals itself over time. Asphalt doesn't quite do that. You've got to keep sealing it or putting tar over the cracks. This will do a nicer job. Now this won't hold up as long as blacktop or asphalt would, but it will hold up longer than gravel. So hopefully, fingers crossed, for the next 10 to 12 years, I won't have to put any gravel on this section of the driveway. So that'll save me some cost over the next 10 to 12, 15 years. I know some of you are saying, Chad, we see you do a lot of snow plowing in the wintertime. The snow plow will destroy your tar and chip driveway. Well, I asked the Reynolds and Reynolds guys about that. They said, just like when you're plowing a gravel driveway, it's the same type of system. You want to use your skids down low so that the cutting edge of the blade isn't catching on the driveway. Well, I've always used about 3 inches of skids because I didn't want to pick up all my gravel and shove it off to the side, or at least I wanted to pick up as little as possible. So this will continue to pack down the rest of this summer. Then we'll be okay to, leave that little layer on, just like we would have done with gravel, leave a little layer of snow on top, not dig all the way down and cut into the surface, and then we'll just pack down that little layer. It'll become our hardened layer and we'll plow over top of that. So we hope that we can plow this successfully without tearing it up. I'll be super careful in this area, as I am in most of the driveway, but I'll be super careful that I don't catch an edge or, dig down too low in this area of the new tar and chip. The other thing I wanted to make sure of was that by removing all the loose stuff, we weren't too low. And he said, no, we've done this a long time. We'll keep the crown, we'll keep the driveway higher than the side so that the water stays off of it. That all turned out great. You can see this section did remain higher than both sides, and there is somewhat of a crown to it, so hopefully any water runs off each way. For those of you who aren't familiar with tar and chip, this whole section of road is actually tar and chip. You can see that over time enough vehicles travel over it, it gets packed in. It's basically a lot like asphalt. So you can see it makes a beautiful surface here going into the driveway, nice and smooth. Fixed that pothole, got more than what I originally thought was just going to be a little entrance to the driveway. It looks beautiful. All using material left over from a job they were already working on, tar they had to get out of the tank. Perfect situation, opportunity knocked, we opened the door. So if you were wondering how tar and chip looks in a rural driveway like ours, here you go, you've got an idea of it on day one. We'll keep you posted over time how this holds up. Remember, we're in and out of the driveway a lot. We've got the big F-350, we've got the camper, we've got the boat, we've got the CarMate trailer, enclosed trailer. So this will take a lot of traffic. I'll be able to keep you posted on how it's holding up year after year after year. And I think if we like it, these guys did a nice job. If it holds up really good, we might do the rest of it and take care of all that grass that grows in the middle of the driveway and down by the garage. Here's a little bit along the edge where you can see some of that tar sprayed. You can kind of see what that looks like on the base material before the gravel's down. That's what's underneath all of this, is the base material, that sticky tar, and then this small limestone gravel. Makes a nice smooth surface for the old club car to go up and down the driveway. I think it looks amazing. So please, if you found this video informative or entertaining, please give us a thumbs up down below. If you've ever considered chip seal or tar and chip for your driveway, leave those comments down below. Or if you've done a project like this, leave those comments and let us know how it's holding up over time, because that's the thing I'm most curious about. I think it looks amazing. It's nice and smooth. I just want to know, how is it going to hold up 5, 10, 12, maybe 15 years from now? The nice thing is, now that this is done once, it should be even less expensive the next time, because they'll just be adding another layer of tar and another layer of chips on top. So it should be even easier because they're not grading that top material off first. So that's another advantage for the future. You know, hopefully 15 years down the road, we do this again, it costs us a little bit less. The other thing is, eventually, hopefully, if Jennifer likes how this looks, we'll do the whole thing and we'll have the whole driveway all one material rather than, like Jennifer says, hodgepodge lodge. We now have some chip seal or tar and chip, some limestone, and some number 3 river rock. So I have been in and out of here once in a vehicle. You can see the entrance is nice and smooth now. No more pothole. Nice transition between our driveway and the main road. I think we're really going to like this. So while they were working here by the road, this big tree fell down right out of the woods. I came out here tonight to clean this up. Look what we have here. I don't know if you can see all those bees, but this tree is full of those yellow jackets. Look at that. You can see them going in and out of all those holes, especially that one right there. No, I don't want to get stung, so I'm not getting any closer than that. But you can see them using that hole. So I will not be cutting up and moving this tree tonight like I thought I would. I put these skids down here at the end of the driveway because I thought maybe somebody would want them or need them. They've been here for a couple weeks, nobody took them. I can't get this mowed. So I'm going to pick them up, take them back, maybe use them in the wood yard. Before I had the Polaris Ranger, this golf cart was my UTV. It's got the Mad Jack's flip down seat, so it can be a seat or it can flip down to have this bed on it. And this is what I use to haul firewood, get in and out of the woods, but this was my UTV before the Ranger. And if you haven't caught it, I did a video about the new to us Kubota RTV, which turned out not to be the new for us Kubota RTV. We got that Polaris Ranger fixed. If you haven't seen that video, I'll put a link to it up above and down below. All right, let's get this golf cart with the skids up into the wood yard, through the woods, just like we used to do back in the old days.